Good evening and welcome to Minneapolis. We welcome you to the 6th edition of the United States of Song online music contest and share with you the final results of this year's competition. Northern Lights, Future Bright. And you're seeing right now, of course, the Northern Lights over Halleck, Minnesota. My name is Greg, your unrelenting host, streaming to you once again from Southern California. It's still too soon to be traveling around the country, but it's not too soon to take you on a virtual journey. And that's what we aim to do here amongst these Northern Lights, and soon you'll see wonderful footage of the plentiful forests and lakes of Minnesota too. Now, we showcase Minneapolis in this contest in thanks to the song Pneumonia by the ever-talented hip-hop R&B rapper Dem Atlas. It was like one of those photo finishes at the Olympics. You could only dream of it. Came down to the final jury vote by one single point. Don't let anyone ever tell you a vote doesn't matter. By the way, did you know that Minneapolis twice tried to bid to host the Olympics? So it's been a rough year for Minneapolis as a whole, for many other reasons, but it's been a rough year for everyone to an extent. So I feel absolutely obligated to once again thank each and every contributor, voter, listener, and newcomer to making this contest worth putting together year after year. In that way, we asked several of the jury members this evening to put together a recording of their top votes. And the USOS committee assisted in putting together this results video as well. It's all in the name of bringing you in and making you a part of this amazing results show. So thank you so much. Now, if I could choose where this contest would be held as we transfer over now to more of the recreational aspects of Minnesota life, it would be one of these big arenas in downtown Minneapolis, such as I think it's called the Target Center in downtown. It's home to the NBA team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you may just see the arena again during the interval performance later tonight. Minneapolis is looking and sounding better than ever, having so many awesome venues to host a contest like this if we had to choose. My choice would be the First Avenue and 7th Street entry. It just reopened. You'll see it briefly right about now. And it's a small but historic venue that propelled artists like Prince and the Revolution, The Replacements, and many more. They celebrated the 50th anniversary last year and almost shut down due to the pandemic. But with local support, it remains with us for the future. So anyway, imagine this, 54 songs convening here in Minneapolis, the city of lakes, the original home of the Minneapolis sound, Jimmy Jam, Lizzo, countless others. Wouldn't it be awesome if this was a real contest? Anyway, I look forward to bringing to you the results as well as many of the sights and sounds of Minnesota as we go back in time here. See the Fauché, Frank Tarkenton, their hockey team at the time. There is such a history here of sports and recreation that cannot be understated. I don't even recognize some of these things. Mall of America, probably the biggest mall in the United States. And as we close here on a shot of the fireworks, we bring you to the contest. Welcome. Thank you to Jaybird Films and for the others mentioned in the credits for the amazing videos and for helping us bring Minnesota home to you. In last year's contest, we announced that 2021 would be the last year in which there would be a limit on the number of territories that could participate in the United States of Song contest. Therefore, we broke the record. It was 54 songs that came to Minneapolis this year, and from that we got a record for the final round, 27 songs, including for the first time the US Virgin Islands, so welcome. We want to continue showing you some of the best music from our nation, so if you have a song in mind for next year's contest, you can watch out for the song submission announcements. We'll send them out through our website, www.unitedstatesofsong.com, or you can go to any of our social medias and follow along and wait for those announcements to appear. Out of the 54 songs, 53 of them participated in 2 semifinal rounds, from which 13 songs qualified to the final round each, and Minnesota's song pre-qualified because they're the host of this year's contest, which led us to the grand total of 27 songs. Our 15-member jury and 58 public voters made their opinions known by voting via the website and through the forms that we provided there. And from that, we have today's result, which we are going to announce. But before we get to that, let's listen to a recap of the 27 songs that participated in this year's final round.
hallway floor, looking out the window more. I'll keep looking round the bend until you come back home again.
Watching me close wherever I go.
And I think I just realized I would say anything to come off a little more interesting. That's why I talk. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I can tell myself if I ignore these thoughts, they'll go away, and my toxic friends will change.
It's disrespectful. What I wanna do to you, make you feel special, better than she make you do. It's disrespectful. What I wanna do to you, but baby, that's not right. So hard to act right. What I wanna do to you is disrespectful.
Be a light on the dark night, be a lifeline through the dark
you to stay and change my mind. I wish that I could love you. I'm difficult, don't think that I can trust you. I'm cynical, but I kinda want you to stay and change my mind. And I can't tell what's in my mind. Have you been coming to me at night? I keep seeing ghosts and up the stairs. I feel something behind me like you're there. I keep seeing your face in every mirror. I think I'm going crazy, but you're everywhere, baby. Oh, why don't you follow me all the way down? We have no reason to find a way out. Feeling some kind of sinister, babe. Oh, why don't you come get on my level? We're dancing with the devil.
I don't wanna call you up, and I don't wanna miss you so much, but I didn't see us losing touch. I don't wanna keep you up, and I don't wanna need you so much, 'cause I didn't see us losing touch.
All right, everyone, let's start the results show by summarizing the public vote, which accounts for 50% of the overall score. Let's start by explaining how public voting worked this year. There was very few changes from last year, with the exception being that there were 27 songs in the final round instead of 25. The public voted and ranked each song on a scale of 1 to 7, with 7 meaning they really loved the song and 1 meaning they absolutely hated the song. We then attributed points for each rating given to each song by the public voter. A song that received a 7, 6, 5, or 4 rating from a public voter was given 6, 4, 2, and 1 points respectively. Any songs rated a 3, 2, or 1 rating by the public voter did not receive points from that public voter. At the end, we apply the math necessary to make the total points given from the public for all 27 songs amount to 50% of the overall points given in the contest. We do round up or down to the nearest whole number as needed to attain clear results. After public voting ends, we proceed with the jury vote by reading the top 3 scores from each of the jurors until the final points have been given. For each song that we go through, we'll show what the total points summated from the 58 public voters was in the bottom right of this grid. Here is an example. It is theoretically possible for a public voter to give no points or to have abused the rating system, but we did not count those voters at the end of the results. So with that said, let's begin the public vote. We start off with song 1 from Colorado, Regresen by Neoma. It's one of 2 Spanish language songs in this year's final round. The title means come back. The song received 99 points. Good start for song 1, which was the winning spot last year. Song 2 is from Montana. It's Hannah's Anxious Alien. It went a bit more experimental with rock music and landed 64 points. Next in line is Oregon's entry, Supernova by Cat Cunning, and their song receives 103, putting them now in the lead. At slot 4 we have Galxara's electro-pop anthem, Loving Nobody, and the public did not love them either, and it only handed out 50 points to this song. And song 5 from the North Carolinian band Sylvan Esso brought a lo-fi pop flavor with Ferris Wheel. It gets 76. And that's where we're at after the first 5 songs. Oregon in the lead with Colorado close behind. The next 5 songs all have an indie pop flavor to them. The home entry tends to do really well with the public. Graveyard Club represented Minnesota in 2017 but failed to make it to the final. Dreamland this time around gets them 76 as well. followed by Georgia. Stella Cole's Love Like Mine achieves an impressive 90 points. Next in line, Tennessee's Marissa Mino at song 8 could only captivate the truest of pop fans and landed 61 points. Then we have song 9, the Oklahoma entry, and unfortunately Mothica gets our lowest score thus far with 46. Not much further behind at song 10, New York's Gregory Dillon is sitting low with 57. After 10 songs, Oregon, Colorado, and Georgia round out the top 3. We move on to songs 11 through 15. Missouri at song 11 always does well at this contest. The public vote is no exception. They scrounge up a respectable 75 points. Then things get unexpectedly testy. Songs 12 and 13 from New Hampshire and Alaska, respectively, fell on deaf ears with the public. Maybe it was the simplicity, the ambiance. Either way, both Trafton and Anna Graceman get the lowest scores thus far, with 41 and 45 points, respectively. Ouch. New Hampshire was the first song to not get a top mark from any public voter. Moving on from that atrocity at song 14, we have Will J. from California. His dramatic pop ballad Lies lands 75 points. And then comes song 15, Malia Civit's Disrespectful from Nevada. She gets itself disrespected and only manages 50. After 15 songs, but things remain relatively the same. Will that change with the next 5? Song 16 belongs to New Jersey, their first ever trip to the final round in 6 editions. The public could care less, though. They only gave the song 57 points. Moving on, Massachusetts, and while some listeners recognized Isaac Dunbar, the majority of people were unimpressed by the more modern sound, giving out a lowly 49. That couldn't be said, however, for the next song. A hard turn into rock music, Alabama's band Shallow Side threw it back to 1990 with Revival, and The Move delivered them 100 points, which puts them now in second place. I will say this, it's not the song that got the most top ratings, but a lot of 6 and 5 points. A lot of 6s and 5s. Now, did we just say Massachusetts got 49? Joining them with that unimpressive number of points is song 19 from Puerto Rico with 48. It was also their first trip to the final round, and hopefully not their last. Finally, at song 20, New Mexico's Alex Stern reached the final round with a country rock pop ode to John Wayne, and couldn't sway most of the public. She gets 46 points. So Oregon in first place, followed now by Alabama, then Colorado, Georgia. In this last run here, we'll go through the final 7 songs. In spot 21, Arizona rebounds after last year's near miss from qualification. Anti-Socialite by the Foxies achieves a similar 49 points, and will have to fight for votes from the jury. The song that won't have to do that as much, surprisingly, is song 22, the other rock song, Wisconsin's Cut to the Chase by the Keystones, lands 107 points. They are now in the lead, and apparently rock music is coming back. Who would have known? But not indie rock. The band Future Islands from Maryland sent the rousing song For Sure, but the public only gave it 44. Slightly higher than that is song 23 from Maine, Amy Allen's Difficult, notches 54. The last 3 fared a bit better. At song 25, we have Ghosts from Silver Sphere of Illinois, who gets 79 points from the public. And song 26 finishes with 77 points as well. It's the country pop song Sinister from Taylor Acorn of Virginia. And last but not least, Kentucky's Chaz Cardigan didn't want to lose touch with the public and achieves a modest but average placement with 65 points. And there you have it. With the public vote complete, the clear frontrunners are the rock songs from Wisconsin and Alabama in first and third, Oregon in second place, and then Colorado and Georgia. It's the second year in a row that Alabama finishes in the top 3 with the public. Here's the full scoreboard. And now pay attention to
those numbers on the top left. The total number of points from the public is almost exactly 45.5% of the score given by the jurors. So we have to change the number of points to almost exactly 45.5% each, which we will do right now. So that puts Wisconsin at 49 points, which is 45.5% of 107. So that will do it for the public vote. We now proceed to the jury vote by reading the top 3 scores from each of the jurors until the final points have been given, at which that time the winner will be known. It's on starting now. The jury's combined points account for the other 50% of the total score, if you haven't figured that out by now. If there was to be a tie for first place, let's get this out of the way, because it almost happened last year. We refer back to the jurors' points first, and we see how many sets of points were handed out. If it's still tied after that, then we confer with the public vote, which was rounded down or up to the nearest whole number. Remember that statistic? If it happened to be that one song was rounded down and the other song was rounded up, then the song that was rounded down is going to get the preference. And if it was rounded down quite significantly, then it would come out victorious because it lost a point, so to speak, or a chance at an extra point. Now, if it's still tied after that, I'd be very surprised and probably cry myself to sleep that night. It's not going to happen. But there are some additional steps in place to make sure that doesn't happen that way. We start looking at the top sets or the top number of points received from the jurors, and then we do the same for the public. All right, fellas, well, that brings us to the jury vote, and we go off script as per usual to bring the jury vote to you. We have 14 total jurors this year, which is an okay number, but the important thing to remember is those 14 jurors have 50% of the overall power. Yes, their vote accounts for 50% of the overall score. We will be going through each individual juror's votes, reading off their 8 points, 10 points, and 12 points. In a few cases, we'll have them call in to us to give us their points, and you'll see them appear here on the green scoreboard here, the official scoreboard. I have my own personal scoreboard here to my left, where I will be keeping track of the points in real time, so that I personally will learn who the winner is of this contest at the same time that you do. Without further ado, we're going to start off with my vote. My name is Greg. I'm from California. So here are my 1 through 7 points. 8 points go to North Carolina. 10 points go to New York. And my 12 points go to Maryland. And that completes the first of 14 jurors' votes. We will now proceed on to the second vote, which comes from Shamrock. And he's calling in. Shamrock, are you there?
Hello, Shamrock here from Shamrock Social Podcast calling. Lots of great songs this year, and congrats to all those that made the final. Here are the votes. 8 points goes to Alaska. 10 points goes to the only 10 I see, Tennessee. And the 12 points goes to Illinois.
Thank you, Shamrock. That was amazing. And best of luck to Illinois. They get the 12 points there. So after 2 votes, it looks like we have 60 points to Oregon. They're safely in the lead right now, followed by the 52 points by Alabama. We move swiftly on now to juror number 3, who is Aaron from Texas. And here are Aaron's 1 through 7 points. And here is how Aaron voted in the rest of his points. 8 points go to Arizona. 10 points go to Puerto Rico. And the 12 points from Aaron go to New Mexico. And that completes Aaron's vote. Thank you once again, Aaron, for your participation. Our 4th juror of the evening is #Star from California. And here is how they voted in this year's contest. 8 points from Star go to Colorado. 10 points go to Florida. And the 12 points from Star from Florida go to New York. Checking in with the scoreboard here, and it looks like Oregon is still in the lead with 63, followed closely by 58 from Colorado. Let's go on to the 5th juror in the contest. And they are Amanda from Guam. Always love to hear from you, Amanda. Here is how she voted this year. Now the 8 points from Amanda go to Oregon. $10 points go to Alaska. And the 12 points from Amanda go to Missouri. So after 5 jury votes, it looks like now Oregon is building its lead. It is at 71 points, followed by, let's say, Colorado still at 58, Georgia at 57, and a couple other states now above 50 points. Still anyone's game. Still kind of wide open. But let's see what happens with our next juror. Who is juror number 6? It's Josh from Missouri. And here is how Josh voted. The 8 points from Josh go to Alaska. 10 points go to Oregon. And the 12 points go to, you guessed it, Missouri. The home state wins again. So that's 2 12 points in a row to Missouri. Does that impact the current scoreboard? A little bit, but note there that Oregon also got 10. So it sits in first place still with 81 points. On to juror number 6, it is Steve from Connecticut. Hello again, Steve. Here are Steve's 1 through 7 points. And the 8 points from Steve go to Oregon. 10 points go to New York. And the 12 points go to Arizona. Congratulations, the Foxies. You guys have been getting like 1 and 2 points from every juror. Finally get a 12. Congratulations. And that really kind of makes things break wide open for Oregon, doesn't it? It's their contest to lose, I would say, at this point now. Even though we're only halfway through the jurors, it would take some pretty determined voting to start to make this a little bit more competitive, but you never know what could happen, as an attestment to last year. So next is juror number 8, and that's Martin from Colorado, who is calling in. Martin, can you hear me?
Thank you, Gregory, for calling. Hello, America. Hello, world. This is Martin from Colorado calling. I'm really excited to announce my points to you all, and I can't wait to see how these results go from here. And so here are my first 7 points. And now to my top 3. 8 points go to Tennessee. 10 points go to Alaska. And finally, 12 points from me go to Oregon. Congratulations and thank you. Good luck to all of the finalists and may the best song win.
Thank you again, Martin, for sending in the call. That's pretty decisive, huh? We are now at 93, no, I was right, 101 points Oregon crosses the threshold. They look like they are pulling ahead now convincingly. So that's an exciting result from Martin. Let's move on to juror number 9. So it's on to the next juror, who is, in fact, juror number 9. And they are Pablo from Florida. Good evening to Pablo. Here is how they voted. 8 points go to Montana. 10 points go to Missouri. And the 12 points from Pablo of Florida go to New Hampshire. All right, well, that was an unexpected 12 points to New Hampshire from Pablo, but it keeps Oregon in the lead with 101 points. Now in second place is Missouri with 79. They are now the best, most likeliest possible state to catch up and try and beat Oregon this year. Will the next juror make that any easier? It's juror number 10, and that's Niall from Ireland. And here is Niall's points. And 8 points from Niall go to Maryland. Ten points go to Tennessee. And the 12 points from Niall go to Missouri. Well, Houston, we have a contest, and it looks like now it's only 10 points that separates Missouri from Oregon. I don't want to keep you waiting, so let's move on swiftly to juror number 11, and that's Derek from North Carolina. Derek is calling in. Derek, can you hear me?
Good evening. This is Derek calling from North Carolina. Thank you for another fantastic contest this year.
Thank you.
Without any further ado, let me reveal our votes.
Okay.
8 points go to Oregon. 10 points go to New York. And 12 points go to Maine.
All right, Derek, thank you very much for your points. And that decisively bumps Oregon back into the lead comfortably with 109. We have 3 jurors left, and they have to make up 18 points to get Missouri to win potentially its second ever United States of Song contest and become the winningest state ever. Can they keep Oregon from making history? It's juror number 12's time, and that's Witar from Israel. So here's how juror number 12 voted. 8 points go to Alaska. 10 points go to Georgia. And the 12 points go to Massachusetts. Okay, friends, let's take a look at the scoreboard, and it's still 109 points to Oregon, 91 points to Missouri. 18 points now separate Missouri from Oregon, and we have 2 jurors left, which means the next juror could be the one who decides whether or not our winner this year is Kat Cunning's Supernova. It all could come down to this vote. And that voter is Yoav from Israel. Yoav, avid contributor of songs to this year's contest. Again, if you are interested in sending your own songs or songs that you're interested in seeing in this contest, look out for the song submissions to open up at www.unitedstatesofsong.com, or check us out on Twitter or Facebook. Yoav, let's see how they voted. Eight points go to Maine. $10 points go to North Carolina. And the 12 points from Yoav go to California. Thank you, Yoav. Well, guys, it's no secret anymore. We have one juror left, so we're going to read Juror 14's points. We know who has won this year's contest. It's Kat Cunning's Supernova Tiger's Blood from Oregon. Oregon is the winner of the United States of Song Contest 2021. But we still do have one final juror. Who would have thought that the contest would be known, the results would be known this early? I'm sorry to juror number 14. That's Miho from Michigan, who I believe is actually Shantae or Isul or whatever name they want to go by in the moment. Here is how they voted in this year's contest. The 1 through 7 points. The 8 points from them go to Alaska. 10 points go to Missouri, and their 12 points also go to New Hampshire. So Miho giving points to both Oregon and Missouri in the end, but it's not enough to overcome the 114 points that Kat Cunning was able to secure with their song Supernova. In second place, Aaron Bright teaming up with Unsecret for the song Home Again gets 101 points. And in third place, we have, I believe it's Georgia's Stella Cole with Love Like Mine at 88. Folks, it's been an amazing edition. I'm so upset, honestly, that I wasn't able to go to Minnesota, wasn't able to go to the location yet again this year. But with Oregon being this next year's winner, you can bet your butt that we're heading to Portland. That's right, Portland 2022. You better believe it, because not only do I usually have a work conference in Portland, fingers crossed, but I have friends who live there too, and it's an amazing city, and I hope that's where we go next year. Fingers crossed. Yet again, it's a changing world. It's a changing music landscape, and I think we heard all sorts of different sounds. I actually thought this was going to be an insanely close contest this year, but it turned out that Oregon had the lead quite early on, and they kept it. And they deserved it too. Kat Cunning's pretty much the bee's knees, so you need to check her out, check out their music, and listen to their songs. My name is Greg Lehner. I'm the host of the United States of Song. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope you had an enjoyable time. Thank you for everyone who called in. Thank you to everyone who made this an amazing event. See you next year.
I'll be a rough rider, I'll be a prince, and I'll be your astronaut in the abyss, 'cause I've got it bad and I need you around. So you be the dagger that I don't pull out, 'cause I know you'll be my pain, my tracks